Okay, in this video I'm going to take you through a few things that we've done with Sketch Engine that I think are really interesting and show you how parallel corpora can work. So I'm going to assume you've set up a parallel corpus of this sort. If you have, one first step you can make, and the thing that we did with Clockwork Orange, was to start by creating what are called keywords. You'll see I'm in this corpus already, Clockwork Orange in Translation English. You don't need to worry too much about this. Basically what keywords does is compare your corpus, your book or whatever you've got in there with another corpus, and then show you which words are unusually frequent in your one. So if I just do the basic option here, click go, you'll notice with this particular corpus that what comes to the top of the list is a lot of Nadsat words. So what it's done is it's compared a Clockwork Orange with a corpus of general English, and of course Nadsat words are going to be more frequent. Almost all of them are here, apart from the odd name here and there. It doesn't mean, of course, that all the words here are going to be Nadsat. If I make the list a bit longer, we'll see that there's plenty of just standard English words. So if you can't use it as a way of just finding Nadsat, you have to do some filtering after you've done the keywords to filter out words like boastful, which aren't Nadsat. So that's kind of interesting and could be useful, of course, in other kind of circumstances too. But for the purposes of Nadsat, we'll look at VEC and how that's translated. So this is what you can use parallel concordance for, parallel corpora. The main tool for this is the parallel concordance. Now, if I just go to basic and enter VEC is a word I'm interested in. So what it will do here is it will search for VEC in English, and then it will show me all the instances, the lines where VEC occurs in English, and then I can check how they've been translated into Spanish or into French. So first of all, it showed me that VEC occurs 182 times in the book. It will tell me what this relative frequency is. So if I want to compare it with the frequency in another book, and then it will give me all the instances here, quite a lot on a page, and then I can see how VEC is translated into French, and I see that VEC here is translated as VEC. Because it's an unusual word, it doesn't highlight it. It doesn't. Sometimes the parallel corpus thinks that it's found a match, and it will highlight it for you. What I can do at this stage then is download this result for further analysis as in all these different formats, and then I can highlight them, that sort of thing, analyze them, see which ones have been where VEC is translated as VEC and ones where it may have been translated as something else. One thing I forgot to check, but which we can check now, is we've got 182. Is it all just VEC? This will give us a summary of what's in there. So some of them are VEC, some of them are VECs, VECs apostrophe S, etc. And you could even look at individual ones of these if you wanted. Just go back to where I was. So if I want to do it the other way, you might want to, I can just come here. But the French was VEC, I can just switch the language. French, and see how what VEC has translated in English. The immediate thing I notice here is that there's 155 compared to 182 that we had before. This may be because, yes it is, because VEC, it's only picked up VEC, not VEX. But I imagine VEX happens in French too. So if you get something like that, that's quite easily sorted. I can do the pipe to do or. So this will search for VEC and VEX. Then we find we get a few more, in fact, because sometimes VEC in French has translated where we didn't have VEC in English. Can't find any here, but there will be some. Okay, and let's see what happens if we look in the Spanish. How is VEC translated into Spanish? Here we go, VEC, and the Spanish is, you'll notice that it's highlighted these words because it thinks they're a translation of VEC, although it's actually wrong. Here we are, so VEC actually is translated here as человеку, not, and here it is VECO. So immediately we notice some inconsistency in the translation. So we might be interested to see how many times VECO is used in Spanish. Go to Spanish, or include the plural. And immediately we see that's interesting, there's a lot more in Spanish than there are in the English. And that means sometimes VECO has been used when there's no VEC in English. Or perhaps a different word was used. I can't see any immediately, but there will be some. This just gives you an idea of what you can do with this parallel corpus technology and the sort of searches that we did in our research.